Have you ever been afraid to move forward? Maybe everyone around you thinks you're strong, but inside you're nervous about the future. You pray, but you still feel uncertainty. You want to trust God, but fear keeps whispering, "What if you fail?" Now imagine standing where Joshua stood. Moses, the great leader of Israel, was gone. The man who parted seas, confronted Pharaoh, and spoke with God on the mountain was no longer there. And now Joshua had to lead an entire nation into the promised land. Can you imagine the pressure? Thousands of people looking at you for answers. Enemies ahead, battles coming. Responsibilities heavier than ever before. And in that moment, God speaks directly to Joshua. "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." That verse is not just motivation. It is a command connected to a promise. God did not say Joshua would never face fear. He said fear would not have the final word, and that matters for us today. Because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward while trusting God. Think about this. A ship is safest in the harbor, but ships were never built to stay there. In the same way, many people stay spiritually stuck because fear keeps them anchored. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of change, fear of what people think. But God never designed you to live imprisoned by fear. Scientists say that fear activates survival responses in the brain. Your heart beats faster. Your muscles tense up. Your body prepares for danger. But spiritually, fear can also paralyze purpose. How many dreams has fear killed? How many callings have people abandoned because they were too afraid to trust God? Joshua could have stayed mourning Moses. He could have doubted himself. He could have focused on the giants in the land. Instead, God told him to focus on something greater. "My presence will go with you." That changes everything. Because victory was never about Joshua's strength alone. It was about God walking beside him. And maybe today you feel unqualified too. Maybe you think, "I'm too broken. I'm too weak. I'm not smart enough. I failed too many times." But throughout the Bible, God constantly uses imperfect people. The book of Exodus tells us Moses struggled with speaking. The book of Jeremiah shows Jeremiah thought he was too young. The book of Jonah reveals Jonah ran away from God's calling. Joshua 1:9 is powerful because it reveals something deep about God's character. God did not tell Joshua, "Figure it out alone. Depend only on yourself. Pretend you're never scared." No, God said, "I will be with you wherever you go." Wherever? Not only in victories, not only in easy moments, not only when life makes sense. That means God is with you in uncertainty, in heartbreak, in loneliness, in moments where nobody else understands your struggle. Even when you feel abandoned, God has not left you. Think about how children react during storms. A storm can terrify them. Thunder shakes the house. Lightning flashes outside. But many children calm down the moment a parent holds their hand. Why? Because presence creates security. The storm may still be there, but they no longer face it alone. That is exactly what God offers Joshua. Not the absence of battle, but the assurance of his presence. And honestly, many of us want God to remove every obstacle immediately. But sometimes God strengthens us through the obstacle instead. A muscle only grows through resistance. Faith grows the same way. Without challenges, courage would never develop. And notice something important. God tells Joshua to be strong before entering the battle, because preparation happens before the breakthrough. Too many people wait to feel fearless before obeying God. But faith often means taking the first step while your knees are still shaking. Imagine if Joshua had refused to move. Israel would have stayed wandering near the promise without entering it. And many believers live exactly like that today. Close to purpose, but trapped by fear. Close to healing, but trapped by doubt. Close to transformation, but unwilling to trust God completely. But Joshua 1:9 reminds us that fear should not become our master. God is bigger than the future you're worried about. Bigger than the problem keeping you awake at night. Bigger than the voices telling you to give up. And maybe today, this verse is not just a Bible verse for you. Maybe it is a personal message from God. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. I am with you. Not someday. Now. So wherever you are listening from, I want you to reflect on this question. What would your life look like if you truly lived like God was beside you every moment? Would you pray differently? Would you forgive differently? Would you dream bigger? Would you trust more? Joshua stepped into the unknown and discovered that God was already there. And the same God who guided Joshua still guides people today. So don't let fear write your story. Let faith do it. If this message encouraged you, share it with someone who needs strength today. And remember, God's presence is greater than your fear. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe Sight Kids and Niños con Vision.